Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have a PPI print that's going to come out in about 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So we're going to be watching that print. We're going to see exactly where the market wants to take us. So right here, I have SPY, Qs, I have IWM, I have DIA. I have all these tickers that are up. So we're going to watch the print here in just a second. It's going to come out in 2 minutes. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. We're going to wait for the print here. It's going to come out in just a minute. One more minute, and then we get a print here for PPI. We'll see exactly where the market wants to go. How's everyone doing today? Everyone okay? Not entirely sure if you guys are prepared to trade today. More than likely, I will be taking some trades today, so I want to talk about them. Okay, so it looks like the report is out, and we have a fairly neutral response on the indexes. A little bit of movement out of NVIDIA, if you guys can see NVIDIA on the mid part of this chart right here. So a little bit of movement there. Doesn't look like there was a lot of activity there on the Qs. Let's see what we have here on the 3-minute candle. Okay, I don't really see all that much. I see bullish price action on the 5-minute, a little bit there on the 30. I'm not seeing a whole heck of a lot. So let's just dive into a couple levels, and we'll talk about price action right now on the indexes. I am interested actually in scalping today. I have been scalping more. I have been scalping a lot more than recent. So I've been trading more futures than I have anything else. And I want to share with you guys certain things that I've been doing. So let's talk about SPY and Qs here. Obviously, yesterday we got a strong bounce off of SPY, right? We had a very strong bounce off of SPY at 554. All right, so I'm going to be looking for this level once again to see if it will hold. Right now, we're still consistently making lower highs. For the life of us, we cannot get above 562, 563. It just hasn't been happening at all. All right, this is the 10-minute time frame, so this is your reference point. We get above 563, 564 right here, right? Hopefully, you guys can see this on your screen. If we can get above this level, then we're gonna start maybe looking for 570, and that's what we want. All right. So I'm waiting for specifically this zone, guys. I'm waiting specifically for that zone between 562.75 all the way up to 563.75, about that dollar range to break out to the upside. Now, downside is going to be 553.25 and lower. I'm talking about SPY right now off of the 10-minute time frame. So we've consolidated right now for 1, 2, 3 days. Yesterday, I got some nice scalps off. They were pretty good. They were pretty good. I'm waiting for either of the two levels, either a break below here to see more downside, or I'm waiting for a break above that area that I just outlined, okay? So now let's go to Qs. Qs is the same thing. I want to scalp. I don't have any bias. I will be scalping. I've been scalping a lot more recently. My goodness, have I been scalping. So this is our zone that's been consolidating. You have a range between 469 all the way up to, let's call it 480, 469 to 480. I'm waiting for one of the two zones. I'm either waiting for a break of structure down here to take a short position, or I'm waiting for a break of structure here to actually take a long position. So I'm more than likely going to be scalping from here all the way up to about 488. Okay, so I'm watching those areas. Specifically, what I'm going to be looking for is just I'm going to be using right here. I'm going to be just looking for a little bit of momentum. The reason why I have that target there to the upside, if you guys know what the voodoo lines are, we have a fire line on Qs right at 485.60. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about going from snow line all the way up to fire line. So back down here, we'll just see if there is some momentum that wants to pick up on the Qs. I'm not entirely sure that it's there quite yet. So today, obviously, I'm going to be monitoring price action just like all of you. Next is going to be IWM. IWM is an interesting situation off of the 1 hour time frame. You have not consolidated as much as you had on SPY or Qs, right? It is there. I mean, it's 3 days of consolidation, but just check out on the 4 hour. It is pure downside, right? And you're fanned out on all your moving averages. So my moving averages, I've been adjusting, I've been playing with them, but check out your 200-day and your 100-day moving average, right? You're fanned out to the downside. Check out the daily time frame. So we're at a volume profile. We're approximately at 197, which I've said before. So let's just say we bounce off this level. There might be an interesting area for me to take a long off of, but I'm still waiting for a little bit more structure and a little bit more strength in the market. Let's see what else. This one is actually a pretty good one too. This is a really, really good one. These are the diamonds, man. I've made so much money off the diamonds in recent months. I want you guys to be part of that as well. So we have 413 on the diamonds. I'm probably looking at the diamonds more than I am anything else. I'm waiting for about 405 here and then taking action. I don't know how strong price action is going to be for today. I don't really think we got a decent reaction off of the report that just printed. So I'm not too keen on jumping on anything too crazy. More than likely, I will be scalping ES and NQ. I'm not entirely sure if I want to take anything on YM for right now. I think Qs is going to be where we see a little bit more fluctuation in the market, right? Let's talk about just maybe 2 or 3 other positions that I also am interested in that I would like you guys to know as well. Instead of doing QQQ this time around, I actually took something called TECL. I like my leverage shares positions, if you guys have ever noticed. So I took this yesterday, and my stop loss is pretty tight, right? If we hit my stop loss, I'm going to be losing just 3% on this trade, and then I'll try again. But this for me is a decent support area. I don't know what's going to be happening after today's close, but I did notice that there was a sharp drop in short interest. Okay, I use FINRA data. So they're a pretty reputable source. So I'm using this indicator. It's just a short interest indicator. I've shown you guys many times before. I'm just waiting for either this to be support around $60 to about $63, and then I'll try a few times here before we start catching some momentum. The reason why I'm bringing up TECL is because if you're a QQQ or a SPY buyer, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. This just has better bang for your buck, right? Instead of doing a 15% return on Qs, this is looking to do close to, 40, 50%. It's just leverage shares, right? No big deal here. So this is something that I'm interested in. I'm also interested in TNA. So those of you that are looking to jump into IWM, TNA is probably going to be my candidate, right? So we're at one of my key levels. Another key level is going to be all the way back down to 25. So those 2 positions that I just mentioned, TECL and TNA, these are 2 positions that I'm looking forward to signaling here very shortly. Last thing that I want to go over, and then I'm going to open up the floor for you guys. I want to give you guys a chance to ask me questions because, I talk a lot. I'm a big talker, but I want to give you the opportunity just to ask me my opinion and just see what you guys are interested in taking. All right. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Tesla. I feel bad because I did take a Tesla position. I took a Tesla off of the gap fill right here. And I actually did take a position. I took a position on TSLL. I said that I would. I said that I was going to take a position. I said it a million times. So I saw it back down. I got in at $7.50. I feel bad for the guys in the group because I said it was a little bit risky, and I think I was right. But I'm about 20% off the bottom. If we trade a little bit lower on TSLL, off of the 1 hour time frame, right? If we trade back down to approximately $8, I'm going to be monitoring it for a signal. I'm going to monitor it for a signal and also for a recommendation. I'm just holding on to shares for a little while because Tesla has earnings that I don't think they're going to be really well on the delivery. I believe earnings for them is in the next 30 days. It's close. Let's see exactly when it is. Let's see when the earnings date is for Tesla. Give me 1 second so I can check that out. It's on the 22nd of next month. This month. Sorry, my bad. January, February, March, April. In April. So it's in April. Let's look at Tesla off of the daily time frame and let's do some evaluations here. Okay, I had a couple key levels on Tesla. My key level on it was, I said a while back that Tesla was going to be trading back to 220. This is a little busy, especially for you guys that are on smaller screens, so I'm going to stick to this chart. I want to give you guys, I have a lot of things on there. I have a lot of information telling me different things. So let's just stick to the daily chart and let's just look at simple fibs, right? Retracement, 100% gap fill right here, right? 100% gap fill below the 200-day moving average. The reason why I took the long trade on Tesla is just because the order flow on it was very positive. Not just, this was yesterday's data, okay? This was yesterday's data. So I want to be very clear, right? Because not all of you are listening to me every single day, which is fine. It's fine. But I want to give you context. The context is when I took my Tesla trade, I took it almost at the bottom, almost. I said that Tesla was going to be trading back to 180, right? But my indicators told me otherwise. And I also saw order flow that was substantiating the fact that, there was buy the dippers. So I have a stop loss on Tesla. Don't think that I don't. Right? I have a stop loss. My stop loss, I'm moving up, right? I'm moving up very slowly. For you guys, I don't think that this is a bad area. I would just wait for a little bit of a retracement. So my retracement area would be between 225 to 235. Now, don't just blindly buy shares on Tesla. I know a lot of you are very interested in that. And I apologize a million times over that I took a position because I don't like doing that. I don't like taking a position and then saying, oh, I made a bunch of money and you guys are out of it. That's stupid to me. But in this scenario with the pullback and the drawdown that we saw, I was uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable signaling it. But let's just talk about order flow on it. Let's go individually here to just the order flow on Tesla and let's make a determination. All right, so the order flow has become positive. I picked up on these orders right here at a 250 strike. I definitely picked up on these orders. I look at order flow every single day. I do it about 300 times a day. I noticed that we were picking up on calls, so I took that long position, all right? So for those of you that are interested specifically in Tesla, be careful here. Don't take the first bounce, take the second high or low. Let's see if we have that on the 1 hour. My area to break above is 265. That is my target for right now. Okay. But my recommendation is back down to 230. If you can hold 230, that's your area to get in. All right. That's going to be my recommendation. So I'm going to open up the floor for the last 15 minutes. I'm going to read through the comments now. If you would like me to go over a specific stock, or if you'd like me to talk about just strategy, just ask me. Ask me. I'd be more than glad to talk them over. For those of you that are going to just listen, I want to outline and I want to explain my thought process behind anything that I'm thinking about taking. And I also want to, whatever stocks that you guys ask me about, I want to give you as much information so you can make an informed decision, right? I don't like saying, hey, buy here, take here. That's stupid. That's just a waste of time. I always like to explain my thought process. So we'll do that here and now. Let's do GIB. GIB. Let's check out the daily. What do we have here? All right. If you're a supply and demand trader, which all of you should be, there's two demand levels that I'm going to point out here. And then you have another one right here. If you apply the right risk reward on this trade, it can be beneficial. There have been a couple buy ratings here recently. I'm going to put on the options tab and we'll just see if there's any options that are being traded. Looks like there's an unusual trade here for February. They're calls. And let's check out one more thing. Let's just check out the seasonality here. Let's blow this up. 26 years, last 26 years of data. This seems to do well around April and May. Okay. What would I do with this particular position? More than likely, I'm going to buy shares. This is very simple. I can pretty much analyze this in 10 seconds. Your profit target is about 111. So you're looking for about an 8% gain on this. Your stop loss should be pretty tight. I would say right at this body, not at the wick, but on the body of the candle. Hopefully you guys can see this on your screen. I would say probably a stop loss at 102, and I would call it even. All right. I'm doing that with my trades as well. Don't think that I'm just saying this because I'm not very familiar with the stock. No. I've done this a million times on Apple. Apple I'm interested in. I don't want to talk too much about Apple because I want to give you guys the floor. But same thing here. When I took my Apple trade right on the 200-day moving average, my stop loss was very tight. So on GIB, my recommendation, right? My recommendation would be, if you are interested in taking the trade, fine. I don't see decisive candles right now. I would look for an entry. I would look for an entry at a break above 104. Cool. All right. Let's see what else. What else we got, guys? AMD. Cool. I bought into AMD yesterday. I did. Let me be very clear about AMD. Let me be extremely, extremely clear. AMD for me is not a trade right now. For me, it is an investment. There's a big difference when it comes to this. I bought into AMD shares yesterday, literally yesterday. So I'm thinking that this is an investment for the next 1 to 2 years. If that is not your time horizon, forget what I'm saying. Just absolutely forget it. I personally am looking to buy into a whole bunch of companies. I can mention one particular ETF that I have extreme confidence in. I can do that with you guys, but I'm not gonna tell you, hey, put a bunch of money in this ETF just because I did. But in terms of AMD, if we remove all of the indicators, all of the data, just remove that and just strictly look at price action, that is a demand level. It's between 95 all the way up to about 102. You have an extreme demand level back down here at $65. When you're talking about Fibonacci's, you're at a pretty significant injunction point. It's 0.786. Is this the bounce area? I have no idea. I have no idea. Do not look at this like a short-term trade. I think you're going to be, just like me, you're going to be woefully disappointed. So if you want to buy into AMD, my points are about $92. And then I think I'm going to take a lion's share. I'm already in a lion's share. I already have a very large position on AMD. But I have to outline that this still has a gap back down here. You can't tell me that we can't trade back down to $65, that AMD cannot still see another 30% drawdown. Don't be that person, right? Most of you are like, that's not going to happen. Don't say that to someone like me. Okay, I've been around way too long for people to say, nope, we can't pull back an additional 30% on the stock. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world, because when you're looking at anything, right? How many of you, if you guys were to bet, $100,000 that we were going to see the drawdown that we saw on Tesla 2 months ago, all of you would say, nope, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. It's easier for the earth to hit the sun here in the next 20 days, right? It happened. So don't be that person. Always, always, always consider the downside risk. So if you're going to buy into this, in my opinion, the valuation is pretty good. The company is seeing growth quarter over quarter. There is a high amount of short order flow on AMD. I see all those things. So before you decide to short-term trade AMD here to the long side or even to the short side, recognize those things. Recognize that there's still a 30% gap to be filled lower. I'm not saying it's going to trade like Tesla, but keep that on the table, all right? Do not say, nope, it's not going to fall another 30%, because then you have the same mentality that a lot of people that don't have much experience in the market, they're always going to say, hey, buy the dip, but it keeps on dipping more. It keeps on dipping more. Pay attention to market structure and market internals. I do that every day. Do I get it right all the time? No, of course I don't get it right all the time. But some market internals, especially with where the VIX is and what the dollar is doing right now as I'm talking, just be careful. Be very, very careful. So AMD right now is inconclusive. I bought into AMD. You don't have to buy into AMD. I think it's at a fair price point. I think they've been growing for the last 4 quarters. I think it's a long-term investment rather than a trading opportunity for the time being. What's the longer term trend you see at the moment? The longer term trend is still more downside. I don't see longer term trend overall on the indexes. The reason why I have that opinion is because we have broken, for the first time in a very long time, the overall market trend. That is the market trend that we've seen on SPY for a hot minute. So we have broken that by a significant amount. Does everyone see that? So I have another 5% expectancy to the downside, which is exaggerated, but it's there, right? I'm also, what I just said about the AMD position, I don't have it off the table that we can pull back another 5%, right? Do not tell me that, no, Sage, you're an idiot, because we're not going to pull back. Donald Trump is going to fix everything, and the market is going to be jumping up in the next 2-3 months. You don't know that. You definitely don't know that, right? So put into perspective that you have a demand level here at 540. It's there, right? It's definitely there. We can pull back another 20%. I'm just saying, pay attention to your market internals, and specifically if you're using third-party software, pay attention to this stuff right here. It's called order flow, right? I like to pay attention to where people are putting money. I see money on Tesla, I see money on NVIDIA, and I like to pay attention to dark pool data. Dark pool data is going to be data that the institutions want to conceal from you. So I will give you an example. Pay attention, at least just these 2 minutes. Some of you newer guys, if you don't know what dark pool data is, I'm assuming that some of you, maybe 1 or 2 of you, don't know. Of course, if you've been trading a little while, dark pool data is something you're aware of. But just in case someone just heard it for the first time, they're just concealed orders. Those concealed orders usually are very large. And institutions, they're not taking very large orders all at once. They're stacking those orders because they want to conceal it as much as possible. And they're doing just like us. They're doing a little bit of averaging in, and they're doing it slowly. So this sucks now because this is not loading. Maybe if I get rid of a couple tabs. Okay, I'm so sorry, but now TradeEtix is not loading for me. I wanted to show you guys the data set, but here it is. Let's go over SPY, and we'll go over QQQ together. I want to show you guys this data. So what do we have in terms of dark pool prints? On your small screens here, you have resistance between 558 all the way up to 595. These are rather large orders, 600 million, 1 billion, 600 million, 1.5 billion. We go a little bit lower, you're looking at your dark pool levels. You're looking at your DP amounts, and then this is what I wanted to show you. Your dark pool trade sentiment and your dark pool just sentiment overall. Your block trade sentiment, excuse me. I like looking at this on a daily basis because this is going to show me, all right, are institutions buying the dip or are they not buying the dip? What is their sentiment? How do they feel about it? Because it's not you and I that are moving the market. We don't move the market at all. We definitely don't. So I like to come into here and I like to look at the actual orders to see if there are any repeating orders or if there's any accumulation. Accumulation is basically on your whatever time frame, 4-hour daily time frame. Is there a large amount of energy that's building up? There is accumulation back down to 540. How do I know that? Because these were launching points. And then here was a resistance point that we can trade back into, which we already are. We're trading back down to 560, and now we're accumulating. So now we're deciding, are we going to make another leg lower? Or is this the area where we start seeing a bounce? I know what the majority of you want. The majority of you want us to start trading back up here. Institutions know that, all right? They know that. They know that you want it here and that short-term traders are going to look to take the upside. But you got to be careful, right? They can manipulate the market a little bit lower so they can get a better price. Go for a liquidity sweep. Go for a pool of liquidity. Get it, grab it around here, and then start recovering. They've done that already a couple of times, right? They've done that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now almost 7 times. So be very careful. Be very careful before you start buying crazy, crazy dips. If you're the kind of person listening to me right now and saying, hey, I'm buying like crazy, right? I'm not buying like crazy. I'm buying here and there, but I'm buying and I'm putting stop losses on everything, including that Tesla trade, right? So be very careful with that. In terms of long-term trend overall, just to answer the question, the long-term trend has been decimated. It's not there any longer. So wait on those 200-day moving averages and wait for something like market sentiment to change. What do you think the market sentiment is right now? It's not that big of a secret. Go into your fear greed index. I'm just going to make a comment here. You guys should be using this, but we're in extreme fear. Yesterday we were at 15. Today we're now at 20. So we had a 5-point uptick. Cool. Where were we? Where were we just a month ago? We were at 43, right? And a week ago we were at 17. These historically are the best moments to buy. That's all I'm going to say. They're historically the best moments to buy. Let me answer a couple more of your guys' questions, then I'll talk about the ETF that I think everyone should be in, and I'll just talk a little bit about it. What platform am I using? I'm using a combination of several tools. I'm using TrendSpider, TradingView, just like everyone else, and then I'm using TradyTix. What else we got, guys? What other questions do you have for me? Let's see what you got. Order flow I get from a platform. It's called TradyTix. It's not going to be the best. There's AlgoFlow. There's several. Webull has order flow. I believe only at level 2 capacity, but order flow. Just do a simple AI search. Whatever order flow tool. I usually do this every month. If there's a new one coming out that has more accurate data. Right now, I'm sticking to TradyTix because there's a healthy balance between accuracy and also price. So right now, I think I pay maybe $70 for this, but for the amount of data that I get, it is 100% worth it for someone like me because I'm constantly monitoring this. Hopefully, I answered your question. What else we got, guys? What else we got, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go over SoFi Technologies. Okay, so SoFi pulled back down right here. I'm waiting for SoFi at $8.50. Cool. I have a very keen eye on SoFi. I like the gap back down here because I want a better price. In my opinion, check this out. If I'm going to take a trade here, then I'm looking for probably a gain of 25%. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I would prefer a gain somewhere along the lines of 60. So this is how I think as a trader. I'm okay with not buying into SoFi right now. I'm perfectly fine with it if I have an opportunity to buy into it at a lower price. What if that never happens, Sage? Then I don't take SoFi. It's just really that simple. Cool. So that's my opinion right now on SoFi. All right, guys. Is there any other questions that I can answer for you? If not, I'm just gonna give you guys about 15 seconds here, just in case, because there's a delay. But I'm going to talk about an ETF that I think is worth it. I bought into this ETF yesterday, so I'll give you guys 10 seconds. I'll give you guys just 10 seconds, just in case anyone wants to ask me anything, but then I'll start talking about this. Spotify. Spotify is a very good one. This came into a resistance level and then it bounced off that level. You know what else did this? Netflix. Y'all have no idea how much I pay attention to price action. Y'all have no idea. So Netflix did exactly the same thing, just not at a resistance area. It did it very close to a demand area. So going back here to Spotify, what do you have on this? Do you have an interesting trade? Yeah, you do. You do. My price point on Spotify would be right there, 445. Why? The same principle that I just discussed there on what was it? On SoFi. So you have a 17% gain from here. If you wait for back there, about 25. If you wait for my target area, you're looking at close to 39%. It's the same thing. You guys don't realize this, but Tesla, I said that Tesla was going to be trading at 250. I said that. I said that for 4 weeks. So we broke below the $250 level. I cautiously was telling everyone I'm going to get into it. I'm just watching it. We filled the gap. My indicator, which you're not seeing on the chart right now, gave me the go on it. Then I took the trade. Right? Why? Why did I do that? Because if I were to take Tesla, I'm going to be stopped out here. But what's my gain there? It's 19%. What about here? You guys, some of you don't think about trading like this, but I do constantly. 39% here. If I got back down to this target area, I don't know if it's going to hit that area. Some of you are like, I don't know. It's not going to hit that area, Sage. So why are we doing this analysis? In case it does, right? You're not watching just one stock. You guys should be watching 50 stocks at a time. So it's all about which one of those 50 stocks actually do hit your level so you can buy into them. So in this situation, my upside here is significantly better. So why would I not wait for that? And then if I go even lower into what I thought my demand level was going to be, why wouldn't I wait for something like that? Do you see? Right? This is even better. So going back, I'm looking to buy into Apple. Where do you think my target levels are on Apple? Where do you think they are? Right? I bought in here the first time because my indicator said, all right, time to buy. But right now I'm waiting for a 207. And then I'm definitely waiting for 195. If I do that exercise once again, it benefits me to wait for the position. It really, really does. All right, let's talk about this ETF. This is a generative AI ETF. I'm going to explain this a little bit because I want you guys to get some information and get some value before I start talking about what we offer on our Discord. So if you have no idea about us, if you have no idea how I like to trade, I usually like to trade for long term. I like to take my trading profits and usually turn them into an ETF. This is a fairly new ETF. Do your due diligence after you hear me talk about it. It's going to be just like the S&P. It's going to be just like QQQ, but specifically for generative AI. We're right now trading at a $36 valuation, right? Or excuse me, $36 price point. I'm seeing this, in my opinion, this gets to $120. This gets to $120 in the next 5 years. So if you are thinking more long-term, if you got some money to park, I bought some of this. I bought a lot of it. I plan to be alive in the next 5 years, so I did park some capital on this. Is there a price action history for you to analyze? No, there's not. It's just like the S&P 500. When that first came out, some of you don't realize this, but the S&P 500 has not been around forever. It started in 1992, but it has not been around forever, right? There was a beginning point to this. When I was born, right? I was born in 92, right? My mom could have bought into this very easily, but she didn't do that. I wish she did, but she didn't. So same thing for chat. Same exact thing. Where do we think the generative AI is going to be in the next 10 years? In my opinion, it's going to be a 10x multiple of this. In my opinion, this hits $120, $150 in the next 5 years. So that's why I bought into it. And this is what I'm recommending to you guys. So any individual stock, anything that's just a one-off, right? If you're looking at that one generative AI stock to be the next NVIDIA, that's okay. That's on you. I don't want to take that bet. I would prefer to be a little bit more cautious on my capital. I would prefer a little bit more of a stable equity curve as opposed to one that's all over the place. So it's just like buying into semiconductors. I bought into semiconductors in 2022. Many of you don't remember this trade. I made this trade and I made this bet 2 or 3 years ago. When semiconductors were trading back down here at $6.50, I bought this up like you wouldn't believe. I bought this up twice, 2 times. So same thing, right? This started back in 2010. This started at whatever it was, $1, $2, and then it went all the way up to $72. So I should have probably been paying attention a little bit earlier because I've been in this space for a little while. Back in 2002, I was trading other things. So this started in 2023. Its open price was $25. We're not that far off. We're only $10 above that opening price. So we're right about there. We're 45% gain on this. I think that this is a long term. Okay. Also, another thing is I think cybersecurity is also another long term thing. This is the ETF for cybersecurity. This started a little bit further back. This was in 2015. So our gain so far on this particular ETF, it's an ETF, okay, was 300%. So going back to that concept on the generative AI thing, we've only gone up 45%. This so far in the last 10 years has gone up 300%. So if you're a little bit long-term trading mindset right now, looking to things to buy into, I'm not buying into SPY. I have never bought into SPY. I've never done it in my career. So I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing QQQ, but I am doing these kinds of ETFs for sure. Cool. So that's what I got for you guys right now. Any additional questions, let me know. I always like to ask for feedback. So if you felt that I gave you value during today's presentation, please give me a thumbs up. And if not, give me a thumbs down because I want to know. I want to get your guys' feedback. I don't want you to get onto these sessions and I don't want you to waste your time. I want you to just listen to someone that's actually putting money behind things and trading the market, right? I've been doing that for a while. And I don't want to come on here and say, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that without justifying anything. So if we can get some feedback, that would be great. If you guys are interested in what we do, we have a Discord. Of course, we have a Discord. All us traders have a Discord. But our Discord, I think, I might be completely subjective on this. I think we have the best Discord ever because we have 3 traders that trade similar principles, but trade a little bit differently. I'm a little bit more on the long-term side. And then we have traders that are doing the short term. If you're interested, click the link in the bio and you're going to get all the information that you need, right? You can get insight into everything that we do, who we are, how long we've been trading. Just go to HighStrike.com. You're going to see all the information about us, the trading room, the trading school. It's all right here. Cool? It'll take 15 seconds of your time and you'll see exactly what it is that we do. I forget that I'm live on YouTube right now too. So we're streaming live on YouTube and I'm going to be doing that a lot more often. Everyone good? Awesome. All right, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out another 2 minutes. Sweet, guys. All right, I have a lot of homework that I need to do. I have a lot of homework and I have a lot of analysis and I have a lot of things that I need to just make sure that I'm paying attention to. Right now, it looks like the indexes are not even doing much. I do want to introduce one thing. I think now that I'm venturing more into futures, I've been trading futures for over 10 years, but now I'm doing it more. I think it might be something that we might introduce into the Discord fairly soon. More intraday futures trades because I've been having success with it, and I want to teach other people how to futures trade because a lot of you are doing 0DTE trading. I want to get all of you off of 0DTE. Okay, all of you need to stop trading 0DTE. That is one hell of a statement, but it's true. Stop trading 0DTE because the statistics do not help retail traders. About 80 to 85% of retail traders are losing money on a daily basis trading 0DTE. So we want to get you guys onto futures. A lot more that you can control. The leverage is not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. But I think with some of you, I can really help your psychology and just help you financially with getting you off of 0DTE and actually trading futures on a more consistent basis. We do that every single morning. Kyle is our futures trader, and he's damn good at it, right? 2 weeks ago, a guy made $28,000 on his futures trades, right? So he knows what he's doing, and he's very, very cautious and very patient, just like myself. All right, everyone? Okay, that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next week. Cool?